Hi everybody. In this practice today, we're going to do a little work toward prepping to be in a handstand. And I think that this is a fun thing to practice and a safe way to go about it. But as we move through the practice, be sure that you are listening to your body. And if you are at a point where your body is saying no or your mind is saying no, then come down. And we're going to be doing a little L shape at the wall to build up strength and stability. And I actually think it's a little bit harder than coming into handstand. It takes more strength to come into this, but it's safer. It's easier to step down out of it. And so just keep that in mind as we come to this, that you are always welcome to step down out of it and not be up in it as long as I am. Okay, and I'm not going to be in it for super long, just a little bit of time to help work on that strength. But absolutely, we always come out of whatever we're doing, whether it's handstands or not, we come out of it as soon as either a part of our body starts to collapse, or as soon as you start to fatigue, or as soon as your mind just says, oh, I don't know if this is right. Okay, so that's the concept of practicing non-harm or non-violence to ourselves. So let's go ahead and start in a comfortable seat. You're welcome to have something like a blanket or a pillow underneath your hips if you would like. Take a moment to come to a seat that feels good in your body. And that doesn't necessarily mean cross-legged. That means whatever feels good, okay? An easeful seat. So as you come to your seat, let your eyes close and take just a moment here to tune into your breath. Letting your breath move in and out of your nose and beginning to allow your body to expand and contract in a natural way. Take a hand to your belly and a hand to your heart and bring some focus to that breath, allowing your belly, your ribs, and your chest to expand. Chest, ribs, belly to release. Inhale, belly, ribs, chest. Exhale, chest, ribs, belly. About 5 more breaths at your own pace. Now connect palms together at heart center and set this intention to practice kindness to yourself as we move through some things that might be a little tricky. Kindness, compassion, and tuning into when it's time to take a break or pause. On your exhale, bow towards your heart. And softly opening your eyes, release your hands down and gently draw your shoulders up and back and gently check in with your head and your neck. Take ear to shoulder, ear to shoulder. One of the reasons why you might choose to not do a handstand is if when you come up into a handstand, your shoulders squish up toward your ears and you're not able to stay broad and open through your chest. So now we're going to warm up our arms a little bit and our shoulders a little bit from sitting to start to prep for this. So take your hands out in front of you like you're saying stop, okay? And now rotate your fingers out. And as you rotate your fingers out, notice that your elbow pits turn up, okay? When you turn your fingers up or even in, they start to rotate down, okay? So elbow pits turning up broadens and opens through the upper arm bones, and it helps you to put your shoulder blade onto your back. So now rotate out and down even, draw your shoulder blades onto your back, head back, long through the back of your neck. Good. Now, what I want you to do is move your arms up and down a few times, and as you do that, you're going to try to maintain this movement even though your arms are going to be straight ahead. So before we do that, take a hand, I don't care which one, to your bicep on the other arm, okay? And now rotate your arm so that your fingers are turning out and then down, elbow pit up, and now you're going to hold your bicep there. Elbow pit stays up even as you turn your hand back, okay? So as we move through our arm, we're going to keep this external arm bone rotation that allows shoulder blade on your back, okay? So go ahead and release your arms down. You're going to take the other side. So whichever one you didn't do last time, hold on to your bicep and then turn your hand so that your elbow pit turns up. Keep your bicep rotated and turn your hand back, okay? So you can make that movement without losing that turning up of the bicep or up of the elbow pit. All right, relax your arms, roll your shoulders back. Okay, so now reach your arms forward, and from this place, your hands are going to stay turning palm in, but you're going to rotate your elbow pits up, okay? They don't go as far as if you have your palms up, right? But have that intention of turning them up, but your palms stay facing each other. As you do that, feel your upper arms rotate, your shoulder blades are on your back. So instead of forward, draw them back, okay? So now you're going to keep this upper arm bone rotation even as you lift your arms up overhead. Exhale, arms come back down. Inhale, lift your arms up overhead. External arm bone rotation. Exhale, arms come back down. And inhale, arms overhead. Good. Exhale and inhale. Exhale and inhale. Now with arms overhead, external arm bone rotation means your pinkies are going to turn in toward each other, and it's even like you're trying to turn your palms a little bit back. Shoulder blades on your back, and now reach further up all the way from your lats. And as you reach further up from your lats, your arms will straighten more, but you're keeping external arm bone rotation and shoulder blades hugging on your back. Good. Exhale, arms come down and roll through your shoulders and roll the other way. Good. Now, if you're sitting cross-legged, go ahead and switch the cross of your legs. You're coming to the more uncomfortable cross for yourself. Move your sitting bones. And now, arms out wide to the side, palms are forward, plug in with your shoulder blades. Now wrap right arm over your left. Inhale, open up. And exhale, left arm over right. Inhale and exhale to switch. Inhale and exhale to switch. Now this time, inhale, exhale to switch, pause, work your fingertips back, lift your elbows up to shoulder height, and then draw shoulder blades onto your back. Take a full breath into the space in between your shoulder blades. Inhale, open up, and exhale, switch. Walk your fingertips back, draw your shoulder blades onto your back, and then take a breath into that space in between your shoulder blades. Good. Now reach your arms straight ahead, clasp, pull forward, and start to round back through your upper back. Chin drops in, take a big deep breath here, and start to move side to side through your shoulders. Getting a little added stretch through your lats, maybe even all the way down into your low back. Inhale, sit tall, release your hands down, roll your shoulders back. And roll your shoulders forward. Then shoulders up and back. Palms turn up here, and as you turn your palms up, this right here is one of the ways that you come to external arm bone rotation. Open up with your arms so you're expanding through your chest, and now take an exhale and draw your low ribs in. Inhale, lift your shoulders up and back, your head back. Exhale, low ribs engage. Good. Now reach your hands out in front of you again and pull forward, round back. Take a big breath into that space in between your shoulder blades. Then inhale, sit tall again, palms turn up, rotate open, big breath. Good. Release your hands down, move through your spine just a couple times. Inhale, expand your belly forward. Exhale, round your spine back. Full inhale, long, deep exhale. One more. Then inhale, sit tall, and now you're going to come forward onto your hands and your knees. Sorry about that stutter. And as you come to your hands and your knees, set yourself up, wrists under shoulders, knees under hips. Wrist creases are parallel to the front of your mat. So that means that sometimes you have to turn your hands just a little out, but that helps with the external arm bone rotation. So find that place of wrist creases parallel, and then rotate your upper arm bones. Remember, your hands don't have to move to make that action happen. So rotate upper arm bones, press palms down. Notice that part of your palm where your first finger is attached, that likes to pop up when we make this action. Push that down more and push your fingertips down more. So now, step one foot back, pause, stay rotated through your upper arm bones, push and feel your low ribs lift a little, and then step the other foot back. So now you're in a plank pose. Take a big full breath. Rotate your upper arm bones, push your toes down, and now think of lifting your inner thighs, rotating your inner thighs up, and then engage your belly. Send your heart further forward. Good. Now knees down, hips back to your heels. Take a child's pose. And as you take this child's pose, take a full breath. Inhale, come back into center. Rotate your upper arm bones as you come to your hands and your knees. Tuck your toes under. Keep that rotation and keep your hands really well set, even as you lift your hips up and back. So the tendency when you move back with your shoulders here is for your upper arm bones to lose that rotation. So shift just a little forward as if you were going to come into a plank. Re-rotate and then shift your shoulders back. Now bend your knees and push through your hands. And as you push, you can even sway your hips a little side to side to get a little longer through your back. But think of pushing all the way from your lats out through your hands. Inhale, come forward into your plank. And you can always have knees down on the ground here in your plank, but rotate upper arm bones and push so much that you get a little expansion through your upper back. Tone your belly, tone through your low ribs, and exhale, lower down. From this place, set your feet up. Reach back with one leg at a time and push down. Shoulders lift up and back without lifting up into your cobra yet. Walk your hands back so they're right by your ribs. And as you push the tops of your feet down, push your knees down too, then engage your low belly. Now exhale and engage your low ribs, lift them. Inhale, now lift your chest up. And exhale, push all the way back into your down dog. Pause, come a little forward, rotate upper arm bones, and then shift back. Knees bent, tilt sitting bones up. And then walk your way forward. Take as many steps as you need to come forward into your forward fold. You might use blocks to help yourself get there, or once you're there, hands on blocks is always okay. Inhale, lengthen part way, hands up to your knees. Send your sitting bones up, shoulders up and back. Now engage low belly and low ribs. Hug them in, even as you send your sitting bones up. Now, inhale, reach wide and rise all the way up. Exhale, hands come to your heart. From this place, close your eyes and tune into a full deep breath. Good. Inhale, stretch your arms overhead. Exhale, fold over your legs, knees bent. Inhale, lengthen part way. Again, tilt your sitting bones up, extend your chest, find low belly and low ribs engaging. Exhale, fold. Plant your fingertips, use blocks if you want to, step back with your right foot into your lunge, pause, and find that centering action of your hips. So your left hip crease is moving back. Now push down with your feet and inhale, rise up. And as you rise up, this hip inevitably wants to pop up and forward, so send it back. Good. Then bend deeper into your front knee. Rotate your upper arm bones, hug shoulder blades onto your back. Then inhale, lift your chest up a little higher. Exhale, hands come down to the front of your mat. Pause and step back into your plank pose. Again, you can always have knees on the ground, which is a nice way to find the external arm bone rotation. So rotate your upper arm bones and push. Now, lift your knees if that's in your practice. Tone your belly. Now you're going to start to bend your knees and tilt your butt up into the air. Knees are low, knees are low, knees are low. Start to lift your sitting bones and rotate your upper arm bones. Inhale, come forward into your plank. Pause with knees on the ground. Re-rotate your upper arm bones. Push, and then lift your knees. Yeah, good. Now bend your knees and start to move your hips back. Bend your knees, knees get low, knees get low. Broaden upper arm bones, hips lift. Inhale, come back. Plank pose, knees down, hips to heels. Take a child's pose. Inhale, rise back to hands and knees. Rotate upper arm bones. Then lift your hips up and back, downward facing dog. Inhale, lift your right leg to the sky. And exhale, step your right foot forward in between your hands. You might bring your back knee down to get it there, okay? Or use your blocks underneath your hands. Center off your hips and inhale, rise. As you rise up here again, send your right hip crease back. Lift from your lats all the way through your fingers, and then broaden upper arm bones. Take a big breath. Good. Exhale, hands come down to the front of your mat. And inhale, step forward. Exhale, fold over your legs. Inhale, bent knees to reach and rise all the way up to standing. Exhale, hands come to your heart. Good. Take a big deep breath right here. You can let your eyes close if you want to. Good. As you softly open your eyes, we're going to come to a wall. So find a wall in your room, wherever you happen to be, and you're going to set your hands right in front of you. Okay? So with your hands set right in front of you, shoulder distance apart, and this is a door for me, so if it makes a little bit of sound, I apologize. So as you set your hands, notice wrist creases and think of the wall or the door as your mat. So you're making your wrist creases come to parallel with the front of your mat, okay? So now push with your hands, and as you push, feel your upper back expand, but then rotate upper arm bones and put your shoulder blades on your back. Okay, so this is a place where you get to try to come to when we start to be inverted, all right? So now, as you rotate your upper arm bones, don't let that part of your hand pop up right here where your first finger is attached. Keep it pressing into the wall. Keep pressing that into the wall, upper arm bones rotate. Extend your chest further up. Move your collarbones further up. Good, and then relax. Okay, so now we're gonna practice coming into this L shape at the wall. And as you do so, a couple of things. If that part of your palm starts to pop up, then you come down. If your shoulders feel like they can't hold you, then you come down. If there's any part of it that you're questioning, you come down. So the tricky thing about this is that it is an uncomfortable place. It is not an easy place. And when you come to it, you feel like you're too close to the wall. But you get to find the pike place. If you've ever seen a pike in gymnastics, it's that L, okay? So as you sit against the wall, you're measuring now, reach your legs out, your hips are right up against the wall, and again, it's a door, so it makes some noise, sorry. So with your hips against the wall, look at where your feet are, and where your heels are is where your palms are going to go, only shoulder distance, okay? So shoulder distance, and then you're also going to find where your wrist creases would be parallel to your mat if you have your mat here. You don't have to do this on the mat. I actually prefer not to, but you can, okay? So now I'm going to keep my eye on where my heels are, and then I'm going to take my hands wider than my heels were, because my heels were narrow, but so that my wrist creases are parallel to my mat. And then I'm going to press palms and fingertips, and especially that part of my palm that wants to pop up, I'm pressing it down. Now rotate your upper arm bones, and then tuck your toes under and come to a short stance down dog. It should not feel like a long down dog. Upper arm bones are rotating, your hips are lifting, okay? Now from here, we're just going to do the first part of this right now, and then we'll come back to it. Rotate upper arm bones and push from your lats. Now, right foot up to the wall, knee is bent, push into the wall, and just lift your left foot so it hovers. Broaden upper arm bones, and then set your foot down. Now the other foot. Right foot back down, left foot comes to the wall, you're pushing into the wall, and lift. Your foot hovers again up above the floor, and then set your foot down. And set your knees down. And you can come all the way down to a seat and just check in, notice. You can be all the way down on your sitting bones if you want to. Notice how your wrists feel. You can make fists and rotate. Check them out and notice. And just be aware of if your wrists or if your first finger knuckle attached to your palm popped up. If it did, you're going to make a mental note and say, okay, I'm not going to come all the way up until I can keep that down. Okay? Make sense? Okay, so now go ahead and come to hands and knees. And from hands and knees, wrist creases are parallel to the front of your mat. Rotate upper arm bones. Tuck your toes under. Lift your hips up and back, downward facing dog. Okay, so now as you keep your upper arm bones rotated, press palms and fingertips into the ground. Inhale, come forward into your plank pose. Upper arm bones rotate. Pause with your knees on the ground if you need to, but then lift them up. Broad through the upper back. Keep your low belly and your low ribs pulling in. Start to bend your knees and lift your hips. Bend your knees, lift your hips, your shoulders shift back. Your knees stay close to the ground. Tilt your sitting bones up. Upper arm bones rotate. Inhale, come forward. Knees down, hips to heels. Take a child's pose. Maybe even bring your arms back behind you. Let your head rest. Take a deep breath. Inhale, rise all the way up to your seat. So we're going to come back to the wall now and take our L shape at the wall, if that's in your practice. If not, then you have two places you can come to. One, you can just bring one foot up and lift your other foot to hover. Or two, you can stay at your mat and do this practice of bending your knees and bringing your hips up, okay? And that is, it's fondly called plank to stink by my physical therapist, because this is one of the things I've done to work through my shoulder stuff. So set this time at the wall. If you want to give it a try, you can. Come back to the wall. I'm going to try this side of the door instead, because that side felt more wobbly. So hips into the wall. Notice where your heels are. And then you're bringing your hands out to the distance away. That would be the width of your shoulders. And then push palms and fingertips down. Rotate upper arm bones. Push and find that lift through your low ribs and your upper back. Now, short stance down dog. Upper arm bones rotate. Knees bend, send your sitting bones up. And now, whichever foot feels the best, you're going to step it up, hip height. No higher than hips. Both feet. Coming to that L shape, broad through your upper back. Push with your feet. Think of tilting your sitting bones up and allowing your shoulders to be over your wrists. Notice your hands. Take a big breath. Make sure that they're not popping up, but if they are, then you come down with your feet. Okay? Go ahead and come all the way down to your knees and push back, hips to heels, take a child's pose. And inhale, rise all the way back up. Go ahead and sit down onto your sitting bones. And you're welcome to just pause this and practice that a couple more times if you want to. But remember, the big thing is that you're not going to keep working if your wrists are feeling painful, or if a part of your hands are popping up, or if your mind or your body is just saying no. Listen to it, okay? So hands come together to clasp, bring your forearms together and do some figure eights. So now you're kind of giving your wrists a little bit of love. And at the same time, you end up having a little massage for your forearms. So it's kind of nice, I think. As a climber, I do this regularly. And then switch directions. It's always a little bit of a mental game there. If you find yourself looking sideways and sticking your tongue out, then that's normal. Okay, shake out your hands. And then bring hands to clasp. You have your elbows lifted. And then start to wave. And then switch directions. Good. And now, arms out to the side and bring fingertips together. I call this a T-Rex head, okay? And then you're going to turn your wrists down and then lift your wrists. And down and lift. And down and lift. And then rotate. And then rotate the other way. Good. And then release your arms down. Take your hands behind you to clasp. Lift your shoulders up and back. Expand through your heart. Take a little side-to-side movement with your head and your neck. And check in and notice if any tension went into your head and neck. That's another time that you would pause that work at the wall. Good. Okay. So I'm going to show you one more thing, and you're welcome to try this or just watch. But this is where we move from this legs up the wall place, or not legs up the wall, but L shape at the wall place, to a lifted legs, working toward handstand. So again, you can just watch if you want, and you can even watch, then pause it and try it if you want. That's the beauty of a video, right? So, L shape, measure, and then hands come out to where my heels were. Hands are shoulder distance apart. Wrist creases parallel to the front of my mat. Elbow pits turn forward. Push. So I have a broadening action through my upper back. Toes tuck, lifting my hips up and back. Short stance down dog. Re-broaden my upper arm bones. And then take one foot up, and then the other foot up. Finding that L shape, push, and then maybe lift one leg, and then the other leg, if you would like. And then one foot down, and the other foot down, okay? So you're welcome to try that if that's right for your body, but I invite you to decide not to recognize that maybe today is not the day for it, okay? But it's there for you to play with if you feel really strong and good about it, and like your palms are not going to collapse, your wrist isn't going to be in pain, okay? So now go ahead and come all the way down onto your sitting bones and then onto your back, and pull knees up close and rock side to side. Take some big deep breaths. And then footprints to the floor. Walk your feet out wider than your mat. And drop knees side to side in your windshield wipers, slowly moving through hips, low back, your quads. Arms can be at a T here, or maybe even a cactus, or you can reach them overhead. Sometimes that feels good to get a little further into your side. And then walk your legs back in. Extend your legs out long. If your arms are not overhead, then reach them overhead for a long full body stretch. And just reach through your heels, reach through your fingertips. Take a full inhale. And as you exhale, relax your whole body. You can bring your arms down by your sides. Shavasana. Couple deep breaths here. As you start to take a deeper breath, start to move through fingers and through toes. Bend your knees and roll over to whichever side feels the best to you. Take a full big breath. And then extend your top leg long. Use your hands to support you to gently bring yourself all the way back up to your seat. And from your seat, let's reach our arms out long and wide. Inhale, arms lift. Exhale, hands to your heart. Inhale, arms lift. Exhale, hands to your heart. One more time, full inhale. And exhale, hands settle at your heart. Close your eyes and take a deep breath. Have a very peaceful and beautiful day. Namaste. Thanks, everybody.